All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited for our topic tonight because I think this is a topic that doesn't get touched on nearly enough. This is something that I think if everybody truly understood the power of, they would build something that would last. They would build something of true value here. I think there are a lot of basic principles needed to succeed in selling insurance, and those principles can definitely be learned. And I think you guys can take comfort in the fact that there are thousands and thousands of people who have come before you that have figured this thing out, that can teach you guys, that can guide you. And there's something, and I think that, let me see the best way I want to put this. There's someone out there right now that's experiencing what you're experiencing. And by asking the right question to the right person, any one of you can have that light bulb moment that kind of springboards you into success. I think it's important to understand that getting around the right people, hearing someone's story of how they went from bankrupt to financially stable, or hearing somebody's story about how they were really successful in one industry and they found this amazing opportunity we have here, it really builds your belief. And obviously, when we have high belief, we can outlast the different struggles that happen in this business and persevere into finding the success that we've really been looking for, and why we really got started in the first place. And we can obviously develop our belief in this industry, our belief in family first life, our belief in ourselves by learning, the skills and the mindsets necessary to succeed. So with all of that being said, all the things I just described, they can be experienced when attending a family first life event. Okay. And we have this super cliche saying that events change lives. And even though it's cliche, it's 100% true. So whether it's a big national conference, it's a big team meetup, it's a local office meeting, it's a virtual video meetup like tonight, it's getting around other people with a common goal and a focus that is the same as yours is one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself in this business. So here's the number one rule for events: never miss an event, and obviously never come alone. So this is the key to learning all the skills and learning all the principles that you need to personally succeed in this business. And it's also the cheat code for building a team. All you have to do is get people plugged in, get them to the events, and the events will do all the teaching, the convincing, the sorting, and the belief building. So obviously with that intro, some of you guys on here, you've already checked out. Okay. You've already checked out because you say, well, I've been to an event before. I know they're important. I don't need to listen to this training. I don't need to take notes. Some of you guys might be thinking, okay, well, there's some big events coming up. This is just a super cheap way for Jamie to promote the Los Angeles conference and the Charlotte conferences that are coming up. Yeah, you're right. That's true. But there's about a dozen other events that are happening all over the United States every single month that you can plug into and plug your new people into that will give you the information and will give you the belief that you need to grow this thing as big as you want to. So let's just talk about the cliche stuff. Why do we go to events? We already said it. Events change lives. And guys, when I look back at every single time in my life, I look back at every single time in my career that I've made a major decision to go all in, it was at an event. And there was some sort of emotional impact that gave me that heart check that made me make the decision to never look back. And if you've ever had this type of moment, you know what I'm talking about. If you guys have ever been to an event and you've had that heart check kind of a moment that made you go all in, drop a 1 in the comments. And guys, if you are struggling to go all in, go to a major event. You'll either be all in or you'll be all out. Okay. Other reasons that you hear about going to an event is the stories that you hear. Okay. There are 2 types of stories, and I already kind of touched on them already. 2 types of stories that everybody relates to, and we all relate to someone different. The first type of story is, if it can work for him, it can work for me. It's the underdog story. Okay. The person who came out of adversity, the person who overcame some type of hardship, some type of learning curve to be successful here. And you look at them and you say, wow, if they can do it, there's no reason that I can't do this. And that's your light bulb moment. The other type of story is if it's good enough for him, then it's good enough for me. This is when you have the successful business owner. This is when you have the doctor, the lawyer, the real estate agent, or whatever type of person that you think was probably too well off before FFL, that they see value in this opportunity. And that provides validation for everyone else that's in a successful career, that if they already have a successful career over there, that if they come here and they apply the same effort, how much more successful they can be. So when you go to an event, you obviously can find someone you can relate to. And when you find someone you can relate to, it makes it real for you. Another reason, it goes right in tandem with the stories, are the relationships you can make. This is the cheesy stuff, but the cheesy stuff's the important stuff. The cheesy stuff is the stuff that's going to make you outlast and be here a year from now. I found mentors at events. I've found running partners at events. I found friends at events. I've met people that have become my best friends at events. I have people who stood in my wedding that I met at events. And guys, relationships are made at these events. And sometimes they're the reason why you don't quit. Sometimes they're the reason why you're able to outlast others, because now it's not just you trying to figure this thing out, but now you're a part of a community of people who are all trying to figure it out. And the last big reason for me, and there's so many more reasons, but it becomes a place that you can have focused attention. And it's a place where that becomes possible. All of us, whether you're working this business full-time or part-time, we've got lives, we've got families, we've got other jobs, we've got other responsibilities. And when we're doing this business at home on a daily basis, we have so many little cares, so many little worries that come up that keep us from 100% focusing. And there's something powerful that happens when you come to an event, and especially when you travel to an event, you're leaving all of those things at home. You're leaving them at home. And for some of you coming to an event, it's actually the first time you've ever dedicated 100% focus to this business with no other cares and no other worries. Coming to an event's the first time you've ever done it. So it's powerful. And obviously, the skills and the mindset you can learn at these events, the word tracks, the scripts, the structures, the ways for you to think about things. You hear somebody who's come before you and you realize that you can learn everything you need to succeed in this business. And obviously, guys, all this information for the most part is available online, but we get so easily distracted when we're at home. The emotional impact of being in person while learning that information, you might have already heard that information a dozen times, but it's finally going to stick. So there's something I want to talk about with you guys. It's this concept called the event ladder. This is a principle that I learned pretty early on in one of my businesses, but it's a powerful, powerful principle. Okay. So the event ladder says, there are local events all the way up to the national conference. So at the bottom of the ladder, you've got a team online meeting just like this. One rung up, you've got our corporate online meetings. So let's say you've got the next level live with Family First Life. You've got the inside the sales trainings. You've got the Monday morning wake up call with Paul McLean. You've got the Saturday Q&As with Sean Mike. Then you've got local events. A lot of you guys have access to local offices. Sometimes you don't. We've got a big group in Charlotte. They have local events all the time. We've got WorkSpot offices all over the country. If any of you guys have ever plugged into a WorkSpot's office, they've got weekly trainings, sometimes bi-weekly trainings every single time that there's a dial day. So plugging into a local event. You've got regional events. These are happening all over the country. You've got the Road to Integrity events. You've got the different Road to Hall of Fame events. You've got the different, summer sales conferences that are happening. We just had one up in Vancouver, Washington. There seems to be one happening pretty much every single week. Let me see if I can find, here's a website that's updated pretty often, FFLUSAevents.com. So if you come here, FFLUSAevents.com, you can start to see what events are coming up. So Sunday, June 12th in Los Angeles, the 13th in Los Angeles. Oh, here's the 20th in Carlsbad, the 25th in Charlotte. And here's a Knoxville Road to Integrity on June 30th. Okay. So these regional events are happening all over the place. And this website's not even fully updated. There's dozens of events that are probably even missing from this, but there are events that are happening local and regional. You can check the WorkSpots app. And then you've got our biannual sales conferences. So these are things like the Kicks for Kids events in Los Angeles. So we had a launch 2021 conference over the winter, or like in the fall of last year. And that was in Phoenix. And that was a team specific event. So Family First Life USA, upline to FFL America, Grady Polson, Andrew Taylor, Paul McLean, West Coast, they all came together and they throw two big events every single year in one market. That's a fantastic event to come to. Then you've of course got our national conference, which this year is going to be in Miami. So that's going to be a fantastic event for everybody to go ahead and plug into. If you guys have not already, you can go to the FFLconvention.com. Okay. And you can see all of the different information for registering for that 240 days away next February. But guys, the event ladder, it's a very, very powerful, powerful thing. So let's talk a little bit about that. So when it comes to the event ladder, my personal opinion is that you're not really a part of Family First Life until you've been to all of the events on the ladder. Okay. You're not really a part of Family First Life until you've been a part of all of the events on the ladder. So that means you've joined and you've been to, the team online meetings. That's a given. You've attended the corporate meetings. You've gone to a local office. You've gone to a regional event, a Road to Integrity event, a Road to Hall of Fame event. You've gone to a biannual sales conference, the big ones that happen twice a year, and you've gone to the national conference. I promise you, if you've gone to every single event on the event ladder, you're either all in or you're all out. You're bought in. And we're going to talk a little bit about how it's not just for you, because there are people on here where you have the intention of building a team. And the principle is that if you get people to the event will do the selling for you. The event will do the convincing for you. The event will do the sorting for you. The event will do the belief building for you. It'll do everything that you need, because guess what? Not everybody relates to you. It's unfortunate, but not everyone relates to you. And by getting them to an event, you get them around more people, somebody they will relate to. And maybe you couldn't get them to make the decision, but maybe they could. So that's the power of getting somebody to an event. So obviously we talked about everything you can get out of an event. I think it's obvious to say, again, if you're ever going to build a team here, getting your newest agent to an event, it can change everything for them. And again, instead of you feeling the pressure of helping a new agent make the decision, get them on a webinar, get them to a local event, get them to travel to a regional event or a national conference. It'll change everything. And it's obvious to say that the more people you get to an event, the bigger your team will be. Our general rule of thumb, this is an easy one to write down for anybody who's building a team, and you can set goals around big events. For every 10 people that you get to an event, your team ballpark will help 100 families per month. For every 10 people you get to an event, your team will ballpark help 10 families a month. And maybe you have a 5 to 10% override on 100 families per month. How much of a difference would that make for you? And then how much of a difference would it make for them if they're each helping 10 families a month? You're helping 10 people help 10 families a month. That's a big deal for them. That's probably more money than they've ever earned in their corporate job or whatever they're doing previously. If you want to be a board member and you help you want to help 1,000 families, get 100 people to a big event. And if you want your logo, get 10 people to an event. The goal should be simply just to push people from one event to the next event, to the next event, to the next event. We used to call it FAM BAM, from a meeting, book a meeting. In FFL, we have BAM FAM, which is book a meeting, from a meeting, not to be confused with the annuity side of things. But we would say from a meeting, book a meeting. Okay, so they get on the online webinar. What's the next thing I'm plugging them into? What's the next thing I'm plugging them into? How can I push them up the event ladder? How can I push them through the event pipeline? And if you want your agent to be here a year from now, you should be looking at what you can plug them into next. And obviously webinars, local events, those are easy, but the out of state events, that's where people come up with all of the excuses on why they can't go. Okay. Maybe you've been to all the local events, but you've never been to a national one. Don't you think that it would be smart for you to hear some different voices and meet some different people outside of your local area? I think the number one excuse, which this one blows my mind with the business and the industry that we're in, the number one excuse why people don't go to these big conferences is because they can't afford it. It's not mind-blowing that that's what people say, but it's the number one reason why people say they can't go. And whenever I hear that excuse, here's what I hear. I hear that person doesn't have confidence that by going to this event, they'll be able to learn the skills to make money at will. They don't believe that the event will actually teach them what they're looking to learn. They don't believe it. And guys, anybody who has learned the basic skills to sell simplified issue life insurance, they actually understand and have the confidence that regardless of how expensive the travel is, and guys, our events are free, by the way. We don't ever charge for tickets, but regardless of how expensive or last minute the travel is, we have the best business in the world with an advanced compensation plan that all we have to do is help 1 to 2 families, and we can do what we need to make it to any event in the country. It's not that difficult. You help 1 to 2 families. If you make it a priority, if you're willing to invest that money into yourself to learn, you can make it to any event. And there's some people who are not willing, they might have 10 grand in the bank from this amazing business, but they're not willing to invest it into themselves. And then there's some people who spend their last dollar, their last cent to get to and from these events because they understand the value. Those people understand the importance, and they're extremely teachable. They actually truly believe that they can learn the information needed to go to the next level at one of these events. And they believe what the event is worth, that the event is worth exponentially more than what it costs. Okay. They believe it's exponentially more than what it costs. So I'll say that one more time. Most people are too busy worrying about the travel expenses or the time required of what it cost versus what the event is going to be worth. So if I told you guys that if you committed to going to a major event and you made a goal to get every event on the event ladder, get to every event on the event ladder eventually, that you would be guaranteed, there are no guarantees, but you'd be guaranteed to help 400 families next year, next year personally, and have a team helping 150 families a month. Would that be worth it? Would it be worth it? If you went to a major event and you made a goal and you said, I'm going to go to at least one of all of the major events on the event ladder over the next year or 2 years, and it guaranteed that you'd help 400 families next year, and you'd have a team of people helping 150 families a month, would that be worth it? Would it be worth the $500 plane ticket? Would it be worth one night in a hotel? Would it be worth an Uber to and from the airport? Would it be worth eating out for a day or two? Would it be worth one day out of the field? Because that's another part. Some of y'all are really, really good at producing, and you say, you know what, I can't take a day out of the field. It's going to cost me 5 families. It's going to cost me 10 families to come to this event. Some of y'all look at it that way. Yes, I could afford it, but it's going to cost me 2 days out of the field. But what if it could teach you how to help 400 families next year? That's what I propose. Some of y'all ask what it costs. I ask, what's it worth? My question to a lot of you guys would be, is truly, what is it costing you to not go and not plug in? How many years do you want to be mediocre at this business? How many years do you want to be mediocre at selling insurance? Because I honestly don't see anybody lasting more than 2 years being mediocre without some sort of breakthrough. And here's the reality. Most people quit in their first 60 days because they can't afford to keep going in business because they don't take it seriously. So how long can you last at being mediocre? Any of you guys who've been mediocre at this business that have had lead cost, chargebacks, staff, any of these things, you're not that far ahead. And that's just the honest truth. It is. We're not here to sugarcoat anything. This business ain't easy. It's commission-based sales. Commission-based sales is not for everybody. And this is commission-based sales where we have an advertising cost to constantly have new people raising their hand saying they want insurance on a weekly basis. So we have cost of doing business, no cost to Family First Life, but a cost that you choose to invest into leads. Now, do you also choose to invest into your education? Do you choose to invest into learning the skill set that helps you go from this level to this level? Some people aren't willing to invest that. Most people aren't willing to invest that. And that's where you can have, 300 people on a team and only have 75 show up to an event. And that's what happens, because not everybody believes that they're truly going to learn that information if they go ahead and attend that event. So here's what I challenge you guys to do. We have to ask the question, how can we prevent people from quitting so quickly? And obviously it's by helping them find success quickly and by protecting themselves from themselves, by showing them the value of plugging in and what it could be worth for their business in speeding up the learning curve to growth and profitability. So I would look and I would search out and I would find whatever events are happening near you and what major events are coming up. And obviously we've got the Los Angeles Kicks for Kids event. That's coming up on June 12th and 13th. Awesome charity event on the 12th. I think we've raised close to $110,000. If an average pair of shoes is, $30, $40, you can imagine how many pairs of shoes and socks that were given to kids in Los Angeles. And that was raised by Family First Life agents, like not by, anybody, corporate matching us. That was directly by the agents, which is incredible. So we've got that event coming up. The training on the Monday, the 13th is going to be incredible. You're going to have probably 10 different integrity partners, probably 10 board members, 10 Hall of Fame producers. There's going to make 35 people training across the stage that are just absolutely incredible. If you're on the West Coast, I would make that a non-negotiable. I would figure it out. And then obviously on June 25th, we talk about it enough. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to talk about it until people's ears fall off. We've got the Charlotte event on the 25th. And we'll have close to 100 agents from this organization, specifically from, Living Hope, Valiant, Gloves Off, Architect, American Dream, Grit, some Performance, so on and so forth. All the different organizations that we have will all be together in one location. And we're kind of considering the Charlotte event, our team's little mini convention, our biannual event. This is something that we're going to be doing yearly, probably on the East Coast. And our goal is to put as many people in this group on stage, and you guys will see that. So obviously you saw the flyer where you had, a handful of, top producers, but we're also going to have, I think we're going to have close to 40 speakers Okay. And there's only like 25 on that flyer. So that means there's an additional 15 that are coming from this team, rising stars that are going to be speaking on panels, getting their own, 10, 15 minutes to speak and share their story. It's an amazing opportunity for you guys to get together, shake hands, meet people, running partners, the people you dial live with. I can't say enough about this event. So if only one person has the light bulb moment that wasn't already planning on coming to this event, that they're going to come, livinghopeconference.com. I look forward to meeting you there. Let me know if it was you, at the event, if you were the one who had that light bulb moment, and, whatever we can do to help you succeed. That's what these events are all about. So I'd find out what events are going on. Now do whatever it takes to plug into one of those events and plug into the other local events, whether it's once a month or once a quarter. And I'd be committed to being involved in these type of meetings and the corporate meetings every single week, because you have to learn to become a student of the game. That was one thing that happened for me. That was a non-negotiable. I decided I was going to be a student of the game. I was going to plug into Grady's FFL America call every single Thursday. I was going to plug into Paul McLean's Monday morning wake-up call. I was going to plug into Sean's Q&A every single Saturday. If there's ever an event, I don't have a local office near me, but there is a local office about 2 hours north of me in Vancouver, Washington. Every single time that Matt Smith throws an event up in Vancouver, best believe I'm there. Always, because I need an opportunity to plug in. If there's a big event happening on my side of the country, I'm there. I'm there to learn, but I'm not just coming alone and bringing somebody along with me. So we have to find events and plug in, stay plugged in, plug other people in with us. It's as simple as that. If you guys are willing to leverage the existing systems that Family First Life already has in place, you can explode your business. And guys, if you learn how to promote the value of events to other people, and you help them know that the big events, they're non-negotiable for you if you want to be here a year from now, it's a game changer. And guys, our goal is not for you to just be here a year from now, just barely surviving. No one wants that for you. Our goal is that you would be here a year from now and you would just be thriving. You'd be having the best year financially that you've ever had. We talk about joining the campfire. Okay, guys, the Campfire Effect says that the closer you are to the campfire, the warmer that you are. The further you are from the campfire, the colder you are. And guys, the further you get from the campfire, unfortunately, you're going to freeze and die. That's just the reality of this business. Building this business by yourself, it's a lonely business. Dialing by yourself, it's a lonely business. Not joining live dials, you're away from the campfire. Not coming to a local event, you're away from the campfire. Not coming to national convention, you're away from the campfire. That's probably the hottest, biggest campfire you've ever been a part of. Guys, you have to plug in if you want to be here a year from now. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm just going to tell you what I've learned and the principles that I've seen is that if you stay plugged in, you stay close to the campfire, you'll stay warm, you'll stay charged up, your passion will stay high. Near the campfire, the goal is to bring as many people around the campfire with you as possible. Keep them warm, keep them plugged in. That's the goal, because this business is hard and it sucks to do it alone. It sucks to be outside cold and alone in the dark. So stay near the campfire, plug into these events. Excuse me. It'll be absolutely game changing. So that's it, guys. That's all I got for you. I challenge you. Who's coming? Who are we going to see in Los Angeles? Who are we going to see in Charlotte? Who are we going to see at the next, couple big events? Who wants to throw a big event in your area? Let's do it. I'm happy to come out. Our top leaders are happy to fly out. Let's make it happen. Let's get some people in a room. Let's create a campfire. We're going to have an amazing turnout in Charlotte. I look forward to seeing so many of you guys. And if you guys are going to be in Charlotte, drop whatever you want in the comments. I'm just excited to get out there. It's going to be an incredible event, Los Angeles as well on Monday. So guys, everybody have an amazing night. Short and sweet call. We will see you guys next Monday. We'll see you on live dials. We'll see you in Los Angeles and we'll see you in Charlotte. Everybody have a great night. See you guys.